Alright, so we are back for another Dokkan battle video, and we did get the confirmation that we are going to be getting the Awakening for the Tech Trunks and BROLY card. So they're going to be awakening into an LR. Obviously really exciting, I'm sure most of you are aware, but the TUR, so this guy right here, is actually really impressive for a free-to-play unit. They've got some damage reduction built into their kit. They get a lot of defense on Super, so in slot 2 and 3, they can look really impressive, even now. So with their Awakening, you could assume, alright, they're about to be pretty good, right? Because, of course, free-to-play LRs are usually at least somewhat valuable. I don't think there's been a single one that's just been straight up useless. I mean, some of them, I think you can argue, are a little less valuable than others, like, you know, the Int Bobbity or something like that. But look at, like, the free-to-play Jackie Chan. Look at the free-to-play Master Roshi, who isn't the best example because he's aged out a bit, but he's still useful, and he's, like, 3 years old. So free-to-play LRs in the game have usually been pretty good. So then a unit like this, who's already really good as a TUR, I'm going to bet he's going to be a really good LR, possibly the best free-to-play LR we've got. So definitely really exciting with this. I'm sure most of you are aware, but it specifies down here. You get the Awakening medals to awaken the T1 to the LR from doing the like the quest mode stages by getting the Incredible Gems, and then with the Incredible Gems, I think you exchange that for the medals. So basically do the new area, or do the new quest mode stages, the area stages, whatever you want to call it, and then you should be able to get the medals for them. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with the new information. We're just going to speculate on what his Awakening could look like now. So with his leader skill, I'm pretty sure that just goes up to 100%. Actually, we can pull up, I guess, Bobbity, right? That would make a little bit more sense. I don't know how we're going to pull him up. The LR Bobbity, because he's not the most recent free-to-play LR, but he's a really recent one. So he'll probably have the same leader skill as the Trunks and BROLY. So where is he? I know he's Extreme Class and he's Int. But I think the leader skill is going to go up to 100%. And what was it again? Time Travelers. Okay, so it's not really going to benefit a lot of people. I think the Time Travelers category, most people probably have good leads for that. Obviously, with the latest Worldwide Download Celebration, buffing that category a lot. This guy's probably not going to have that much value for most players. But anyway, so the TUR was 50%. Okay, so this is actually only going to go to 80%. I mean, that's not that great. If this guy gets an Easy A first thing, which I really hope he doesn't, then obviously that would go up to, I think, 130%. But I really hope they don't do that. I'd rather them just give him his Easy A kit as his, you know, LR Awakening, and then wait to Easy A him later down the road when, you know, it feels more fit. Maybe when we get the next What If unit, or when we get them awakened into an LR, then, you know, drop this guy's Easy A. But I don't know. Leader skill, not really that great, especially because, like I said, Time Travelers just has better options. Super attack effect, raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to enemy. I mean, you could really just make this 50% attack and defense, right? I don't really think there's anything else you have to do. If you want to make it 50% defense, 30% attack, whatever, I don't care. Just as long as he's getting 50% defense, I'm happy. And he doesn't even really need to get that. I'm just saying that because it'd be nice. Or maybe keep his 12 key exactly like this, and then make his 18 key 50% attack and defense. I feel like that would be pretty fair. Especially because this is definitely a slot 2 and 3 unit. Just from reading their passive, you could tell that. So them getting 50% attack and defense on 18 key, I feel like would make, you know, a lot of sense, right? And then his passive is that he gets 80% attack and defense. Very, very low. I know his stats, you know, aren't really the best either because he's free to play. So definitely making this at least 150% with his LR, I think would be understandable and pretty fair, right? I mean, 150% isn't even really that high now. We're starting to see units with like 200%, or look at Android 21, she has like 210%. So I think 150% is pretty fair. And then he launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super. Just make it a high chance of becoming a super. He gets a medium chance to perform a crit, make it a high chance. He gets an additional 30% attack and defense when performing a super. Yeah, I'd say just bump that up to 50% as well. So then he's getting 50% from his 18 key super, and then 50% from, you know, his actual passive super. Or he gets 50% from his passive when performing a super. So again, just solidifying his role in slot 2 and 3. So definitely very good with that. And then he launches another additional attack that is a medium chance of becoming a super when HP is 50% or more. So I think what they're probably going to do is keep this the same, but then change the condition. So maybe they'll make it like when HP is, I don't know, 30% or more or something like that. So then it's a little bit easier to get. At least that's kind of what I hope they do, because him having all these built-in additionals is really useful, because you could see at the end he gets damage reduction on every super. So if they make the conditions a little easier to get, or just make the probability of you getting the super a little higher, I think that would really get this guy very far, because those additional supers are doing a lot. Between the defense on his 12 key super, which obviously is going to stay the same. He's going to get defense on his 12 key super attack. Once he awakens into an LR, it's probably just going to be this right here. And then also he gets the defense on his 18 key. He gets defense from performing a super in his passive. Then he gets the damage reduction and extra stats from performing every super in his passive. And then also he's got all these built-in additionals. So again, slot 2 and 3 is going to be a godly option. So then, like I said, making the probability for these supers higher and the condition behind them a little easier to get would really make this guy go far. And then he gets a chance of performing a critical hit plus 20% when HP is 50% or less when attacking. I mean, they can make it like an extra 30% if they want. So then he has, what, an 80% chance to crit. I'm not too worried about this guy's damage. As long as he just has that high chance to crit and then all of these additional supers, he should be doing some pretty solid damage regardless. But if they want to, make this a little bit higher, make the condition behind it a little easier to get, whatever, I don't really care, to be honest. As long as they make him really good defensively, I'm chilling, right? And then he gets an additional 31% attack and defense and then 8% damage reduction with every super performed in the same turn. So really, really good with that. That's probably the best part of his passive and solidifies slot 2 and 3 with this guy. Now, if they want to give him guard, if they want to give him dodge, if they want to do something like that, then this guy could be a very good slot 1 option. But just for the sake of the video, I'm going to assume they're not going to do anything crazy drastic like that, and they're just going to build upon what they've already kind of laid down here. So just giving him more damage reduction, more stats, making conditions easier to get, and not implementing, completely new stuff like guard or dodge, right? But anyway, what I was saying is this part of his passive right here, this little end part, is easily the most important part because he's getting 8% damage reduction and 31% attack and defense with every super performed. So 31% attack and defense is very specific. Actually, this makes me think they're not going to want to change it because why not just make it 30%? They kind of went out of their way to make it 31%. So if they want to keep 31 in his passive or whatever, which I don't know why they'd want to do that because they didn't do it anywhere else. But if this isn't a coincidence, then I'm assuming this is going to stay the same and not change. But if they do want to change it, I mean, I guess like 50%. That might be kind of broken, actually, because then he's getting 50% on super. He's getting 30% from all additionals. He's getting another 50% from his passive. And then he's getting another 50% from this other part of his passive with every super performed. And he's getting damage reduction. So, actually, yeah, they're probably going to keep this the same. I don't see this going up that much. But the damage reduction part is really, really useful and has really good potential. So, 8% damage reduction with every super performed. Not bad by any means. Like I said, if they increase everything that he has in his kit, 8% damage reduction will still be good. But with his Easy A, or with his Awakening, and then I guess Easy A if they want to do that, whatever they decide to do. I want that damage reduction to go up to at least 10%. Because how many supers can this guy do? He does his additional super, so that's 2 supers. He's got this one down here, so that's 3 supers. And then he's got the hidden potential system, so that's 4 supers. So that's 40% damage reduction just with that. So actually, you know what? I'd say make it like 15%. And then this guy's getting like 60% damage reduction and all the stats on super. And then if they want to potentially give him even more additionals, that's like, what, 75% damage reduction? Dude, this guy's going to be crazy. Yeah, make this 15% damage reduction. I feel like that'd be pretty fair. I mean, because this guy's only doing 4 supers, so if they don't give him any more built-in additionals, then 4 supers would equal 60% damage reduction, which with, like, what, close to 1 million defense, which this guy's probably going to have, that would easily make him, like, the best free-to-play LR. Even one of the best, like, just useful units in the game, because this guy's on some pretty weak teams as well. So, just a really good unit overall, like I said, or potential to be a really good unit overall. And I really hope they don't fumble him, because what if units like this, I think, are a great idea. Once he got revealed, I know everyone was getting really hyped about maybe a what if like Vegito and Gogeta, a Dragon Ball Z Broly, and a Dragon Ball Super Broly, all these, random obscure ideas. So I definitely think units like this are very important. And then if you actually make them viable and useful on all their teams, then, we'll actually get to use them, which will be fun. Using a unit in Dokkan that I like, wow, that's a crazy idea. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. Just wanted to talk about what their LR could look like a little. Let me know in the comments what you want their passive to look like with their Awakening, and let me know what future what if units you want to see. I know I mentioned Vegito and Gogeta, I mentioned Z Broly, and then Super Broly, but I know there's a lot of other ideas you guys have, so let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one.